Welcome everybody, this is Christian from Sterling Night Gamers and
Jaye Anne from everywhere.
So today we're going to talk about alcohol consumption and how it changes over time. So it's kind of interesting. One of the biggest things I notice is before you're 21, it seems like a terrible injustice that you have to be 21 to drink.
It's terrible.
And it's just huge injustice. It's a huge problem. And then the moment you turn 21, you stop caring about it. You stop caring about it. And it's just interesting. And it's just, it should be lower. But part of it is just, the forms of underage drinking are just so much worse and just so much less dignified than being an adult and drinking afterwards. Just like, I hate frats and frat parties, and it's just, all their houses are just disgusting, and it's just like in their shitty beer, and it's bound to get busted by the cops at some point during the night. And it is one thing I noticed, like especially in college, before you're 21, you're essentially drinking just a few nights, like Friday and Saturday night, or if you're cooler than I was as engineering student. No, but I mean you drink a lot on those days, isolated days of heavy drinking, especially when you're a freshman and you don't know, you don't have a reliable source of alcohol yet. And then once you have a reliable source, or especially once you're 21, you can just go to a restaurant and order a beer or two beers.
And then you pay like $8 for it. Shit, drinking is expensive.
Or you just get a 6-pack of higher quality beer rather than your Natty Lights or
Beast.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So I'm gonna.
It's the worst.
It's just funny, just like the perspective of when you're younger, drinking 8 shitty beers seems appealing, and then when you're older, you just want to have like 2 craft beers.
I think it's like okay, I'm finally, because all my friends who were really sheltered as high school students, or they got to college and just broke free, and they were just like, I'm gonna drink all the alcohol, and so they're the ones puking every Thursday night. But they learned their tolerance pretty quickly that way, right?
Hopefully.
That's not how I learned my tolerance. 18, 19, 20, you're totally fine with just going balls to the wall every Friday night on the alcohol, even though it tastes like shit, right? But you don't know what tastes like shit when you're 18 years old.
Yeah, that's true.
You just go, okay, it tastes like, some sort of liquid, and they put it in my
body. Has to be ribbon, only $1. That's a great deal.
Yes, when you're making decisions based on $1 beer and dollar rails, that is when you are in college. When you're out of college, okay? You're out of college and you're like, I have grown-up money now. I make X amount, which is like 4 times as much as I had in college. You go, okay, what does good alcohol taste like? What are these people doing that they're going to a winery? Like, why is that more special than
box wine?
Getting $2 chuck and box wine and friends.
But I still say, like, box wine can be good. Like, it's not to discriminate against box wine, but
no, it's just a method of delivery. It's not necessarily an indicator of quality.
My alcohol consumption now is mostly at home with people, a lot of board games, dinners.
Good alcohol at home. So
growlers a lot of the time, or like mixed Costco 24 bottle packs that last a long time, because I'm not drinking 6 at a time, because you really can't do that for like a Sam Adams or even like a Yingling and stuff like that.
And that tastes like crap to me now.
And then like wine, and just going to vineyards and like picking up bottles that you like, or I use Naked Wine, which you just get a case at a time, and you just have a glass or 2 or a bottle or 2 with friends over dinner, and like that's it. Like, but there is one drunk story that I'm going to share, and it is an unexpected one, and it is a funny one.
Okay.
So I had never thrown up from alcohol in college. I got drunk plenty of times, but I never threw up from it until because my dad on Easter. I don't know. Do you already know the story?
I did, but please enlighten everybody else.
So I can just drink really quickly, whether it's water or beer or sangria in this case, and I just downed this, like a pint of. Sorry.
There you go.
A pint of sangria, and then I started on another one, and then just like the Roadrunner, I didn't know what was going on until I went into the kitchen and I saw that there were like 2 or 3 bottles of half-empty things of liquor. And I asked my dad what was in the sangria, and it was a bottle of wine. It was 2 different like rums and like vodkas just poured into the pitcher, and then a frozen can of limeade. That was it. That was
it was all liquor, wine, and then a little bit of flavor.
There was no juice, essentially. It was fruit concentrate was the only thing in it. So, just like the Roadrunner, I felt fine until I saw and I looked down and that there was no floor. And I essentially, the room just started spinning, one down on the couch, and probably like 10, 15 minutes later, threw it. And then went to bed. And this was Easter. I had cooked dinner for Easter and my in-laws and my family. All there. Never thrown up from alcohol before. Threw up in front of all of them.
All of them.
On Easter. Because my dad essentially roofied me. Because he tricked me into way stronger alcohol than. And then I went upstairs, went to bed, woke up like 4 hours later and asked where they had all gone. And they're like,
where's everybody?
They were all gone.
They all left.
So.
You were drunk.
Yep. No, my dad is a champ and can hold his liquor. You were our DD for the Beer, Bourbon, and Barbecue Festival.
I was.
Holy cow.
He had a lot of bourbon.
Yes.
And he was coherent.
Yes. And he could have performed surgery. It was just ridiculous. I don't know how that's possible.
Whiskey, many pints of beer.
Yeah.
Many pints.
I was gone. I was not going to drive anytime that week. It was just ridiculous. And he sat on my couch for like an hour and a half and drove home. And you would not know he had anything. It is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And we had stopped earlier, so but man.
Yeah, my mom cannot hold her liquor.
No, neither can my mom.
Not even a little bit. Like she will have 2-3 glasses. Well, she's better now, but back in 2010 when we had the storm, we had like 2 big snowstorms. We were like stuck in the house, and she got really drunk. And that's where the story Black Beamer comes from. I'll tell that story another time. She was literally like texting all of her friends, like, "This is so much fun! I'm so basic right now." And I was like, "Mom."
How much did she have? Like 2 glasses or something?
Well, no. So what happened was we ran out of wine. She had some wine, and I think it was Livingston, because at that time she had no idea anything about wine. So she had that big jug, and she had like half of that. Then she was rummaging through all of the cabinets, searching for something, right? So she found a bottle of Jim Beam and some Blackberry Merlot, right? And she goes, "I'm gonna mix these 2. Of course, right? Jim Beam and Blackberry Merlot. All right, let's do this. Whoosh, right? So it was like this much Jim Beam and then this much Merlot.
So
she called it a Black Beamer. A Black Beamer, which has lived in infamy ever since. And it was literally like straight Jim Beam mixed with Blackberry Merlot.
So one time my family did a trip to Biltmore when I was in college, because I was actually just about to turn 21, and for some reason they let me do the vineyard tour and like the tasting afterwards. And they were a little bit generous with their samples, at least at that time, and they probably had 9, just like maybe a 5th glass kind of level. And my mom and grandma had to sit on the bench and giggle for about 45 minutes before they could do anything else afterwards.
Giggling grandmas.
Yeah. The rest of us were fine. Dad could have, shot an apple off of, like a person's head 300 feet away.
Yep.
I was perfectly fine, even though I was 20 and, like, relatively new to this kind of stuff. My mom and grandma, gone. Just completely gone. On holidays, if my mom has a half a glass, she gets all giggly. Full glass, she's sitting down for the rest of the day. It's just, she cannot hold it, but it is very funny what she does. So, parents getting drunk, that's funny. But when your dad roofies you and you throw up in front of everybody, that's not funny. Yeah, it's a fine line. But
getting your dog drunk, not funny.
Yes.
I've never done that, I promise.
So, if you're under 21, I'm sorry. It just sucks. But once you turn 21, you're going to stop caring.
You're going to stop caring.
And in the meantime, try to start acting like you're over 21. Of just instead of drinking garbage beer and a lot of garbage beer, just drink a few nicer beers from the people that you can get it from, if possible.
No, because I think at that age it's all about volume. That's what's idolized. I remember this one kid like passed out, woke up, started drinking like this much of some sort of vodka. And people were like, yeah!
No, right? But like,
don't do that!
Yeah, it's like, that seems cool then, but you're going to look back and like, oh, that was dumb. Or, oh, yeah, that person got a DWI and got kicked off campus that semester. Yeah, right. It's just like, it's not worth it. It's like, one, you could just drink responsibly. But, hopefully in the long term, let's get the drinking age a little bit lower. But when you get older, drink better stuff. Just
good alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy
being older.
Appreciate your mouth with good flavors.
Alright, that's a little odd, but okay. So
good flavors are important.
So here's some random alcohol stories from myself and Jaye Anne.
What are some of your favorite brands? Like if you were gonna do college all over again and drink something good.
Okay, so here's a good story. So
what would you drink?
Oh, I still enjoy Yingling. And and that's a relatively cheap beer. It's on draft all over, Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, all that kind of stuff. So I like Yingling. Short story. So there was this Sailing Club party. We gave someone who was 21 enough money to buy a keg of Yingling. That is what we wanted. Uh-huh. And he came back super proud of himself that he was able to save $20 and he got Natty Light.
No.
I know. We were all very mad at him because we explicitly told him that we wanted Yingling. Yeah, so, example, it's not worth the $20 on a whole keg to get the much shittier beer. You spend a little bit more, you get better. And when I graduated and I found out I was going to be working in Kentucky, blowing up mountains, and I was going to have money, I threw a party. We were all seniors, we were all old, so it was all post-21 people. And we got a keg of Blue Moon because it was summertime. Mm-hmm. We got a bunch of oranges. It was great. And that was way better than if we got a keg of Natty Light or Beast or anything else that's like that. So, yeah, if I discover what you're going to like, I like Blue Moon. I love Lost Rhino gets mentioned all the time here. I like going to Lost Rhino. I like Old Ox Brewery, which are like two local microbrews around here. I'm not big on stouts or IPAs usually. I don't like the really bitter flavors, but wheat ale, a lager, pale ale, a rye ale, that's the kind of stuff that I like. Wheat,
as far as wine,
pilsners, anything German is usually
you're just gonna keep
very awesome.
Yeah. So as far as wine, when you're in college, you want to make sure that you're drinking better wine. So my favorite day drink was Andre. That's like the $6 champagne. It's like wine soda. But if you want to go a little bit nicer, go with my favorite is either layer cake or cupcake wine. It's usually under $10 a bottle, and when you're under $10 a bottle, it's really That's drink a little bit more less and a little more flavor.
There you go.
Same deal. And that's my story.
Yep. So, all right. So go ahead and put in some alcohol stories of yourself. What did you drink in college, and what did you regret drinking in college?
Yeah.
And what things do you wish you could tell your younger self about this taste, as well as, if there's something that you did that was like, oh, you wish you hadn't done. So, I'm looking forward to reading. I'm looking forward to reading the comment sections. Bye.